We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
Welcome to WatchMojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you should remember from X-Men the Animated Series before watching X-Men 97.
I am proud of you all. My X-Men.
Number 10. Mutant-Human Relations. From the very beginning, a leading plot point in X-Men the Animated Series has been the rocky relationship between humans and mutants.
Professor Xavier, could the government be plotting against mutants?
No. The Mutant Control Agency is a private organization.
Professor Xavier's team of uncanny heroes fought tirelessly to end mutant discrimination and close the book on anti-mutant legislation. However, due to increasing fear, prejudices, and rampant anti-mutant sentiments, their efforts were never fully successful.
You were elected to protect us from mutants! Mutant lovers!
In fact, the final episode of X-Men the Animated Series saw tensions boil over so much that Professor X was brutally attacked by Henry Gyrich, an anti-mutant campaigner. X-Men 97 will likely continue to focus on humans' strained relationship with mutant kind, and whether they can ever truly coexist.
But we must not forget that mutants are human beings. We must be careful that in controlling mutants who abuse their powers, we do not oppress those who would use their powers for the good of all humanity.
Number 9. Professor X is gone. Throughout X-Men the Animated Series, the mutant team of heroes was led by Professor Charles Xavier. That is, until the show's finale. You see, when Xavier was attacked, his injuries were so severe they were deemed fatal.
We are only human, for lack of a better expression.
He's simply beyond the help of medical science.
But of course, beyond our medical science, though perhaps not beyond the aid of the superior technology of the Shi'ar.
The professor's life was ultimately saved, however, by his longtime love interest, Lilandra. The Empress took Xavier to her home world where alien technology would be able to keep him from dying.
Can he ever come back?
Perhaps not in body, my children, but my spirit shall remain among you, where it was always meant to be.
While his fate on the planet is unknown, it is evident that Professor X has not returned to Earth in X-Men 97. His absence is likely to affect everyone on the team in a variety of major ways. Number 8. Morph is back. While X-Men the Animated Series ended with Professor X's exit, it ushered in the return of Morph. The character went through the ringer on the series, starting with his supposed death in Night of the Sentinels. This was followed by his shocking return in Till Death Do Us Part.
Why did they leave me to die?
Under the influence of baddie Mr. Sinister, Morph had to overcome inner turmoil to regain his identity. However, the troubled mutant was still conflicted and chose to flee. He eventually returned to rejoin the team in the finale, getting some words of encouragement from Xavier in the process.
Morph, it's nice to see you home. In facing your fears, you have proven yourself truly an X-Man.
Back on the side of good, the shapeshifter will be a principal player on the team in X-Men 97. Number 7. Bishop's role. When advertisements for X-Men 97 showed that Bishop would be part of the series, fans were ecstatic. But what role did the character play in the original series? For starters, Bishop was not a member of the X-Men team, this despite having made quite a few appearances. A time traveler, Bishop took part in many fan-favorite episodes that dealt with apocalyptic futures, such as Days of Future Past and Time Fugitives.
Must be getting rusty.
I'll say.
However, his time-traveling journeys always ended with him returning to his own time. But with X-Men 97 placing him on the main roster, it looks like he'll be sticking around for the long haul. Number 6. Magneto's Mutant Island. By the end of X-Men the Animated Series, Magneto had successfully claimed his mutant sanctuary.
X-Men, right on time.
The island was shown throughout the series, including a memorable Season 1 episode where the so-called mutant-friendly location saw mutants being enslaved.
You try to escape, the collars will be reactivated at once. If you try to remove your collar, it will explode and destroy you.
With mutant slavery continuing at Genosha, Magneto ultimately helps free the prisoners in the Season 4 Sanctuary storyline. By the time we get to the original series finale Graduation Day, Magneto had gathered his mutant army on Genosha, ultimately claiming it as his mutant refuge.
I know you. You've been to this island before.
He speaks.
My people, it is time.
We think it'll only be a matter of time before X-Men 97 shows us the latest goings-on at the former slave island. Number 5. Scott and Jean's relationship. While X-Men the Animated Series featured its fair share of explosive battles and action-packed clashes, it also zeroed in on romance from time to time.
Gambit loves you.
Of course, the show's most prominent lovebirds were Jean Grey and Scott Summers, or Cyclops.
I've been wondering, will you marry me?
Cyclops.
This despite Wolverine's interest in Jean. After getting engaged at the close of the first season, the pair solidified their love in holy matrimony.
Do you, Scott Summers, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
X-Men 97 will see the relationship still intact. In fact, the couple's going to have a baby. With Jean pregnant in the continuation series, fan theories suggest the child could end up being the time traveler from the future, Cable. However, this remains to be seen. Number 4. The Dark Phoenix Saga. Speaking of Jean, it's important to note the tumultuous journey the character went through on X-Men the Animated Series. The show is lauded by fans and critics alike for its telling of the monumental Dark Phoenix Saga, a story arc ripped from the comics. Through 2 sets of multi-episode storylines, the series laid out Jean's inner torment at the hands of the Phoenix Force.
The mortal Jean Grey is no more. I am fire made flesh, power incarnate. I am the Dark Phoenix!
She subsequently died, but was brought back in a touching moment where each member of the X-Men gave a small piece of their life to save their teammate. With this storyline being such a high point for the original series, many people hope that X-Men 97 will mine more narratives from the Dark Phoenix Saga.
My time here has ended. I must depart.
Number 3. Where's Apocalypse? X-Men the Animated Series featured many formidable foes for Professor X's team of heroes. One such threat was Apocalypse, a seemingly immortal being with exceptional strength.
Those who oppose me shall perish through my agents of destruction.
Like so many villains, Apocalypse wanted to rule the world, and made plenty of attempts to do just that in the series.
The world won't stomach your evil forever.
Evil? I am not malevolent. I simply am. Which soon will be more than I can say for you.
And it's likely he'll give it another go in X-Men 97. But where is the villainous mastermind? The last we saw of him was in the episode Beyond Good and Evil Part 4, End and Beginning.
I have spent a dozen lifetimes in the Axis, learning to master its powers. I will not be denied.
After his attempt to control the entire timeline using mutant psychics was thwarted, Apocalypse's Lazarus chamber is destroyed, trapping his consciousness in the astral plane. We have a feeling he'll find his way out, though. Number 2. Jubilee is a full-fledged member. From the very first episode, X-Men the Animated Series shone a spotlight on teenage mutant Jubilee.
Why is this happening to me? I used to be a normal kid. It's not my fault.
Running away from home to evade the Mutant Control Agency, Jubilee is saved from a Sentinel attack at a shopping mall by the X-Men, who ultimately take her in.
This is Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted.
Gifted, huh? I getcha. That's a nice way of saying mutants. Weirdos. Like me.
Like all of us.
After thorough training sessions and plenty of adventures in her own right, the character flourished, eventually developing into a formidable member of the team.
I'm not a kid anymore!
Heck, even her costume matured by the end of the series. It's safe to say that Jubilee has now fully graduated and will play a pivotal part in the team dynamic in X-Men 97. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Magneto was very close to world domination. Magneto has always had a complicated relationship with Charles Xavier, and in turn, the X-Men.
Fool! You still dream of peace with those who would destroy all mutants?
Is this your answer? This horror? After all the suffering we both have seen, you wish me to wage war on 6 billion humans?
And with Professor X gone, X-Men 97 will see the master magnetism take over Charles's role as leader.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
But fans should know that Magneto was on the brink of world domination when X-Men the Animated Series came to a close. When he heard of his friend's condition at the hands of the anti-mutant campaigner, however, Magneto called off his battle plans to help save his former friend.
My greatest enemy, and perhaps my only friend. But I have waited all my life for this moment!
Wouldn't he do it for you?
Mutant dominance was not so far out of reach, though, thanks to a substantial army. We're pretty certain Magneto will have a hard time putting those bad feelings towards humans aside in X-Men 97. What aspects of X-Men the Animated Series do you hope to see carried over into X-Men 97? Share your uncanny thoughts in the comments below, bub.
Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.